Well, hi everyone. I would like to talk to you about something very important to me. I am a car guy and enjoy the cars and history of our past. I am also on the board of directors at the National Auto and Truck Museum in Auburn, Indiana. This museum is dedicated to exactly what I enjoy and want to see preserved. Our museum needs your help to preserve what we have now and what we see needed for the future. This video is a request for your contribution. But first, some background information. Well, just a little history. Auburn, Indiana, for those not familiar with our area, is a small community in northeast Indiana, just about 15 miles north of Fort Wayne, and has a rich automotive history. Early in the 20th century, Auburn was home to 4 automobile companies. The Auburn Automobile Company, pictured here, survived the longest, producing the historic Duesenberg, Auburn, and Cord automobiles, cars for the rich and famous. As you can see, the company complex was large with many buildings. 3 buildings survive today. The green arrow identifies the original showroom and offices of the Auburn Automobile Company, and today is home to the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum. Our museum, the National Auto and Truck Museum, occupies the 2 buildings denoted by the yellow and red arrows, the Service and Parts Building and the L29 Cord Building, respectively. All other buildings no longer exist. Historical landmarks. The Service and New Parts Building and the L29 Cord Building were together declared a National Historic Landmark in 2005, representing over 130 years of transportation manufacturing and the only automotive assembly plants so honored. Just a few words now about our buildings and our main attraction. The Service and Parts Building. This building was built in 1923 and utilizes a construction called bowstring lattice construction. It was good for open area buildings of the time. The building was used for test driving automobiles, factory service, and distribution of parts to distributors and dealers all over the world. The building is 94 years old and needs many restorative repairs. The structure is in need of a new roof, exterior wall repairs, facade restoration, storm reconstruction, and ADA updates. The L29 Cord Building. The L29 Cord Building was constructed in the 1928-29 time period and was the final assembly plant for the revolutionary L29 Cord. This building was designed with the employee in mind. Note the monitor windows in the ceiling and surrounding wall windows, both providing light and ventilation. The L29 building is now in need of a new roof, repairs to exterior walls and windows, and general waterproofing if we are to preserve this structure for future generations. Please note the cars from the 50s. Our museum has a wide selection of post-World War II cars, trucks, and memorabilia, the things my generation grew up with. With your help, we can preserve these artifacts and the historic stories for future generations. The Futureliner, our main attraction. Futureliner number 10 was one of 12 large dual front-wheeled display vehicles that crisscrossed the country in the early 50s as part of a General Motors promotion called the Parade of Progress. The General Motors Parade of Progress and its crew of about 60 young men carried futuristic and inspirational exhibits to millions of people across North America from 1936 through 1956. The parade of Futureliners, accompanied by GM's newest cars for sale, would pull into small towns just like the circus once did and set up at the fairgrounds or a park offering exhibits and live demonstrations of emerging technology of the future. FutureLiner number 10 is on the National Historic Vehicle Register and is the crown jewel of our museum. For more pictures and highlights of our museum, please go to our website. For now, though, let's now talk about the capital plan. We Have Seen the Future is our capital campaign and involves three components. Component 1, preservation. The first step we must take is with our existing historic buildings, designated by the yellow and red arrows. As we have said, these are over 90 years old and are now in need of new roofs, repairs to exterior walls and windows, and general waterproofing. If we are to preserve them for future generations, we must first maintain what we have. The estimated cost for Component 1 is $1 million. Note in the diagram, to the left of the existing buildings will be Component number 2, the new Parade of Progress building. To the right of the existing buildings will be Component 3, the new Conference and Display building. We'll now take a look at those components. Component number 2, the Parade of Progress building. The new Parade of Progress building will house and prominently display our historic FutureLiner number 10, plus a support vehicle, General Motors automobiles of the period, and tell the wonderful story of the amazing General Motors Parade of Progress. The estimated cost for component number 2, $3 million. Component number 3, the Conference and Display building. The museum is in need of more display space, larger meeting rooms, and additional parking. This part of the project, designated by the white arrow, will answer all three needs. It will include a display space for an additional 15 to 20 vehicles, provide meeting room space for groups as small as 50 or as large as 250. The estimated cost for component number 3, $2 million. I'll provide contact information shortly, but right now I want to cover the 4 ways you can contribute to our campaign. Number 1, the charitable donation agreement is a pledge covering certain time periods for specific amounts and for specific components if you desire. Number 2, component donation is a one-time donation for a specific component if desired and can be made online if you prefer. Next, donations, will, endowment. If you have a classic vehicle or vehicles and or other related items, please consider donating or making arrangements in a will or endowment. There are tax advantages as we are a 501c3 non-profit organization. And last, number 4, if you know someone who you think might be interested in or capable of contributing to our campaign, please provide the contact information. Your identity will be confidential if you prefer. Now for the ways to contact the museum. Okay, here are the ways to contact the museum. First is our website, www.natmas.org. Once you're on the site, select Capital Campaign. Our phone number is next, 260-925-9100. Or you can email to specialeventsnatmas@yahoo.com. Also, feel free to contact our Executive Director, Dave Yard, with questions or confidential information or transactions. His email is dyarde.natmas@hotmail.com. Well, in closing, I just want to leave you with our museum's mission statement. The National Auto and Truck Museum's mission is to enrich lives and educate all generations through the acquisition and preservation of America's automobile and truck history with buildings, vehicles, artifacts, and literature. Thank you for your time in listening to my request. Please help us preserve our piece of automotive and truck history as we have seen the future.